Welcome everyone to our new AI agent demo for the risk identification agent, which has been released in our store release in December 2025. With that, let's jump into the demo and see what it looks like. Okay, so now I'm logged in as Able Tutor, who's one of my risk managers. And what I'm going to do now is navigate to one of his entities. Now, for the purpose of the demo, I've saved that as one of my favorites. So I can see here the supply chain procurement entity. Now this is a department. Now you'll see if I scroll along the tabs here to risks, you'll see we've got now three uh, points here I can select, which is all risks, suggested risks, and directly related risks. Now you can see actually for all risks, I don't have any risk related to this at the moment. So the whole point of the risk identification agent is to really speed up that process and enable users to help them identify risks going forward and really shorten that time period that they need to think about risks and get the AI to help them with that. So you can see on suggested risks now, I click suggested risks or suggest risks, sorry, and it'll open up the Now Assist panel for me. Now for this actually, I'm just going to make that a bit smaller. I'm going to pin that actually to the right hand side. That's how I prefer to work with the Now Assist. What it's going to go through though now is to say, okay, would you like some help identifying details for this? What it'll first do though is saying, okay, I've understood what the entity is, but is there any types of risks you'd like me to look into? For example, IT, data privacy, ESG, third party? Actually, yes, I would. I'd like it to look into operational supply chain risks for this particular type of entity and also ESG relevant risks for this entity as well. Let's send that in. And what it'll do first is it'll actually look through your internal risk library, so your risk statements that you have in place, and it will determine any of these risks are applicable for this entity. Excellent. So here you can see it has suggested the potential risks from internal library. So I can expand that out and show more. So you can see we've got quite a few actually from our internal risk library. So counterfeit components in supply chains, sustainability sourcing gaps, human rights violations, etc. See all these different types of risks. It's now though also said in addition to the risk identifier within your library and industry patterns, would you like me to search external sources as well? So particularly one that you may have missed in your risk statement library, for example. For now, I'm going to click yes. So what it's going to do, as it says, is to scan external public sources and also bring back some other suggested risks that may be relevant for this type of entity. Excellent. So now you can see that it is brought me back some additional risks identified from external public sources. So supply chain concentration risk, logistic risk, price volatility risks. And you can see all of these different external risks has been identified. I'll also show you the sources for those as well. But for now, I'm just going to quickly hide those sources. So now it's consolidated those two lists. So the two lists are the internal risk statement list and as well as the external source list of risks. And you can see them all here. Quite a few it's suggested, which is nice. It's really helping me here to speed up that process to look at this new entity, look at the new risks. And now it says, would you like me to create these risks as triage record for this entity? So this is the triage page here that you can see on the left hand side. I'm going to select yes for this. What it will do is it will create those records within this suggested risk area for me to go ahead and to triage, have a look at it in more information, have a look at it, sorry, in more detail, and then determine if I actually want to create those as actual risks for this entity. Okay, perfect. So you can see those are loading in right now as we speak. So you can see the records are being successfully added in. And now you can see here, I can review these and I can determine if I want to create them as actual risks. So you can see the process is complete. 20 risks were identified and created in the table. That's perfect. Thank you for that. I'm going to close that down for now then. So I've now got all of my suggested risks. So you can see here, if I just collapse these down, I've got 7 ad hoc ones and I've actually got 13 from my risk statement library as well. So let's go through. And again, you would be able to review these in more detail. But for now, just for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to select a few that I think would be applicable. And I can also then look at the ad hoc risks as well that have come from external sources. And again, you can look through them in more detail. So let's suggest a few of these as well. And then what I can go do is go ahead and create these as risks. Or also I could potentially just clean up the list. I can delete them as I go if I don't think they're applicable. Or if I wanted to, I could also suggest these. Sorry, I could ask for more suggested risks. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and create these as risks. And now if I go to my all risk page, you'll see those new 6 risks that have been created. I can go ahead and assess those. All in all, an amazing new feature, I think, in terms of helping our clients to identify new risks for their entities. For more information, please see product docs and release notes. Thank you.